am Kimberly Deita.
And I am Jeremia Degala,
And we are from Capital State University, Pontevedra campus.
taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English.
And in this video, guys, we will be having a critical analysis on 4 different stories, namely
The Three Little Pigs, Red Little Riding Hood, Hansel and Gretel, and The Sword and the Stone.
So first, let us start with the story of the 3 little pigs.
So the story of the Three Little Pigs has been in the children's book for a long time, and I'm sure most of us already know the story, but in this video, we will be deeply explaining or diving into the story through critical analysis. Right, partner?
Yes, that is right. And as we read the story, we decided or we've learned that one analysis or criticism that we may be able to apply into this story is
The formalist theory or the formalist criticism.
okay, since formalist theory, guys, is defined as the critical approaches that analyze or interpret or evaluate the inherent features of a text. And so we've decided to apply this criticism into the story. And this is because
the story is filled with interpretation, how you interpret the characters.
Yes.
The major features that explains human behavior, human nature, and more.
And also, to add, in this story, guys, there are figures of speech that we've noticed which is present in the story, and these figures of speech are personification and onomatopoeia.
And there are instances of metaphor too, right?
Yes, that is right. So, in the case of personification, guys, in the story, we can relate the 3 little pigs to the nature of human being, which some humans may be lazy, and then other humans may be really hardworking, and that hard work, of course, pays off as the time goes by.
Yes. And of course, the antagonist, which is the wolf, can be represented as disasters experienced by many. So if you are weak, if you are lazy, of course you will have a hard time facing life. So I think this is the main or major idea the author wants to tell us or wants us to understand.
That is very true. So in the story, as you all may know, the 2 houses of the 2 little pigs was ruined or was destroyed by the wolf. However, the house of one pig, which is made of bricks, the wolf is not successful to destroy it since it is strong. Same goes true with the life of human beings. Those people who are lazy and those people who are hardworking, when lazy people are faced with circumstances or trials in life, they are easily distracted or they are easily defeated. However, a strong person, and if you are a hardworking person, struggles in life wouldn't easily distract or defeat you.
Also, I would like to add, partner, that
Yes.
as an evidence from the text, it said that the big bad wolf went to the first house and huffed and puffed and blew the house down. So isn't that the way, let's say, typhoons affect us? The typhoons blew our houses, and as resilient Filipinos, of course, we rise, right?
Yes, that is very true, and I agree to that. Okay, so now, partner, I think we are ready to proceed to the story number 2, which is the Little Red Riding Hood.
Okay, so as I have read Little Red Riding Hood, today as a college student, as an adult, and as a student taking up literary criticism, I have actually noticed some features of the text that expresses how females experience the society at the moment, to be honest. And here in my notes, or as of what I have understood, I believe that in the story of Little Red Riding Hood, we can use the feminist theory or the feminist criticism as a way to understand the text. So in the line where her mother said, "Follow the twisty path," jump puddles, and never speak to the big bad wolf. So in this story, the mother was able to warn Little Red Riding Hood to not talk to the big bad wolf because troubles or danger is near them. So in this story, it represents, or Little Red Riding Hood represents females as naive, innocent, and weak. Yes, they can be also sensitive. They do not think about the things that they should, which is why they encounter danger. So that's the idea of the story, I think.
And also,
yes,
I may just add that in this story, the main reason why we choose also the feminist theory, mainly because the story shows that women can be very fragile and that they cannot handle things on their own, and that they should always depend on adults or even man. However, in the story, it is shown that regardless of your gender, regardless of your sex, regardless of your orientation, regardless of how young or old you are, if you are capable and if you have that capacity and capability, you really may be able to surpass the challenges and to even succeed in the future, just like what the Little Riding Hood girl shows. Through her, her grandmother was saved, and I think that is very brave of her, and that I think that is also an eye-opener to all of us, that we should stop and end the stigma that the women are weak and that women cannot do things on their own. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I do think so. Also, the antagonist or the big bad wolf, I think represents patriarchy in our society,
Yes.
where somehow women are suppressed, women are lured by men. So in the society at the moment, don't you think that men also lure women with their money, with their wealth, which makes them, I think, attracted to them, and disasters or dangers also are experienced by them. So in the story, the wolf investigated where Little Red Riding Hood would go and planned. He formed a plan
Yes.
to eat her at the
Yes.
end of the day. So I think in this story, the wolf represents the patriarchy, or the how women are suppressed by men. So they plan, they exploit, and do other things that harms women. So that is why we decided, or we actually chose or used the feminist theory for the Little Red Riding Hood.
Okay, so I think we are now ready to proceed with the third story, which is entitled Hansel and Gretel. And in this story, guys, we use different type of criticism or different type of approach, and this is the historical approach or historical criticism. And this is because
in the story there is an instance where they mentioned or they impactfully expressed famine or hunger. So in the line, which is said by the mother of, or the stepmother of Hansel and Gretel. So they wanted, or she wanted, to lose Hansel and Gretel in the woods. And she said, if you don't, we will die of hunger. So what the father did is abandon his two kids, which is Hansel and Gretel, or which were Hansel and Gretel. So in the story, it also represents the Great Famine during 1315 and 1317. Also, let me add, in the history of Germany, many women were beheaded due to accusations of witchcraft, or witches. They used witchcraft, which made them thought that they were using black magic.
Oh,
Yes.
and also to add to that information that my partner had said, we use this kind of approach, historical approach, or historical criticism in the story of Hansel and Gretel, mainly because the purpose, or one of the purpose of the author to write this type of story is to preserve the culture, the history, and also the struggle that the ancestors of the German people have been through during that time because of the wrong accusation that they've been through. Is it true?
I would also like to share to everyone that during the ancient times of Germany, famine was really faced by poor people.
Yes.
So I think also we can consider, or we can also use the biographical criticism in this story, because the author Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm also experienced poverty during their time. So I think this also inspired them to write,
Yes, that is true.
write the story of Hansel and
Yes.
Gretel.
Since they've been in the shoes of Hansel and Gretel, we must say and we believe they had that
Idea.
that idea, that eagerness, or that something that pushes them to really write that kind of story. Is that all, partner?
Yes. Since a lot of people in Europe experience famine, poverty, this had
Hunger,
instigated
yes.
their imagination to write in fiction.
Yes, that is true. And just to make things clear, in the story of Hansel and Gretel, we used two types of criticism, or two types of approach, which is
The biographical criticism and the historical criticism.
okay. So I think we can now proceed to the last story, which is entitled.
The sword and the stone.
Okay, and in this story, we have used what approach, partner?
The historical theory or the historical criticism approach.
And this is because.
Well, this is because the story is a legend which shows the origin of the Excalibur and the crowning of King Arthur Pendragon. Actually, in this story, it has a lot of versions. It has from Italy. It originated from United Kingdom.
Yes.
And I think it talks about majorly with hierarchy in a country. Don't you
Yes.
think so?
Yes, I agree. I highly agree with what my partner is saying, because in this story, guys, Merlin, the wizard, and also actor, one of the cast of this story, made a great effort to protect Arthur, which turns out to be the king of that city. And I think that the main goal of this story is to show people of how important hierarchy is in that country. And through this also, through reading the story, one may be enlightened of how the culture, how hierarchy started in that very city. And this also opens the eyes of the reader that not all people has all the politics and everything, but in some countries they give most important of the hierarchy. Do you agree?
And also it actually expresses the setting of medieval period,
Yeah.
which is, if you don't have any idea of it, it gives you an enlightenment on
Yes.
which what mood is in
Yes.
medieval times. It expresses, it showcases the culture, the beliefs, and what people follow during the medieval times.
So that is all, guys, and that is the reasons why we choose the historical criticism or the historical approach in this story. And I think that this is where our video ends. Thank you for watching,
And hope to see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.